Hello guys and welcome. Today we're gonna through some of the newest changes of Deadlock, and it feels like I have been reading some of the posts from the community. The game has become much more snowballing and toxic. It's way harder to come back. The map is bigger. You cannot go back to the base to get health. They added first blood bonus, right? So even more snowballing. It's almost like Valve hasn't seen innovation in 20 years. It's almost like they think that the origins of the whole genre of games is just one map, Dota. When Dota was actually just one of millions of community made maps. That's the true origins of MOBA genre. Countless of community made maps, not some mere Dota. Are these guys really so clueless? After 20 years they don't even understand their own industry, their own genre. Holy shit. You know what is crazy? That even after 20 years, I have been preaching about this, how divided gaming industry is for last 10 years. And they keep on proving me right? Deadlock is a typical example. It's a newest game from Valve. Guys who are supposed to be innovators of one of the biggest gaming genre out there. But clearly they're just holding it back. And it almost feels like in just a single patch and and it almost feels like that in just a single patch Valve has managed to make Deadlock a worse game. Now why does this matter? It shows that after 20 years we are still being held back by the old mentality. And this is just a typical when you lack understanding, when you lack actual experience. And that might be whatever, sports, gaming, whatever you are passionate about, right? So today I want to talk about the newest patch for Deadlock. And this really shows the outdated game design a lot of these big capitalism companies have, right? They don't understand their own genre, they don't understand their own industry. Even though these are one of the biggest companies in the world, right? And because they don't understand their own business, they don't understand what people want, then they're forced to manipulate media with promotional accounts to stay afloat, to keep up the illusion they're popular, right? But that's another theme. Let's talk about Deadlock. Now, what is the big change, right? What is so important that changed everything? It is basically this old mentality that only Dota, aka Conquest, can be a competitive game mode. When the whole point of the genre is basically countless of community maps, fight of characters on different fun community made maps, right? And then here comes Valve again, right? One of the biggest companies. They're supposed to be leaders, they're supposed to show us the way, they're supposed to be innovative. No, they do the opposite, right? It's one of the most divided gaming industries out there, and it really shows that they don't even understand their own genre, their own industry, their own game. So let's talk about some of the changes we have in Deadlock. Zipline boost now starts on cooldown again. Like, this doesn't make any sense, but basically when you start the game, if you start laning and you get pressured, you get low HP, you cannot go back to the base and then use boost to come back to a lane. No more of that. It's really hard for me to explain why this actually matters, why I'm making videos about this. But you have to understand that, I have been playing Smite, for example, for 10 years. And we were always ignored, no matter how much we loved the game. Why? Because we didn't play Conquest Dota. We didn't only play this game mode. We played Conquest, yeah, but we didn't play just that. It's not about the game mode, it's about you. If you want, you either wanna win or you don't, right? So then you adopt and you try to win. You try to understand the game rules, right? But if the company doesn't give you basic rank functionality or rewards, there is nothing you can do. The game will eventually die. And Deadlock is a typical example. It's still being held back by the old mentality that only Dota Conquest is competitive, that snowballing is a competitive environment. It's basically a outdated game mechanic that's only really good for noobs and for people that like to win with number advantage, not really winning with, itemization, counter building, how you play, how you build. No, it's about getting number advantage, right? And it's a game mode designed in such a way that one team will always be ahead and one team will always be behind. And now they made the game way more snowbally, which means the game is not fun anymore for most players because there's not enough ways for people to come back, to adopt. That's what esports are all about: adopting, coming back. How good are you at, counter building, coming back, will to win, true competition. But now, oh yeah, it's Dota, it's Conquest, it's what made no. Dota was never origins of MOBA genre. Why are we still acting like it is? Why are we still trying to make the game more snowbally? I know it's very hard to find the correct balance when it comes to, snowballing and coming back mechanics. But this is just too much. It just shows that, yeah, Evolve is still outdated. We're still only gonna have one map. We're still only gonna have snowballing everywhere because, oh yeah, it's a number advantage. I deserved it. I abused meta items and strats to get ahead. That's make me a best player, right? So they made the map bigger, right? And they also added a first blood bonus. Yay, more snowballing, right? And so here is one example. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but they have been playing for almost 20 minutes and their team has 140,000 experience Aka souls and the enemy barely has 100,000, right? So they have almost 40% more souls at the 20 minutes, which means more items, which means more numbers. MOBA, MMO and MMORPG games were always about numbers. That was the hardest part about old Dota and Warcraft 3. It was not really the game was hard or whatever, it was new. You had to have the experience to even learn how to item build in old Warcraft Dota, because the item recipes were so convoluted, right? But in my opinion, snowballing was always a very problematic game mechanic. It's good for noobs so they feel good about themselves and numbers carry them, but when it comes to actually competitive players who really wanna just win on even playing field, Conquest Dota is a joke. It's simply a joke. That's why we have been literally begging in Smite for last 7 years to give us back basic rank leaderboard rewards. They can't even update arena map. We literally have like 5-year-old, 7-year-old arena map. No online tournaments, not even basic rank functionality, leaderboard or rewards what every competitive player wants. And all this is thanks to Dota. All this is thanks to Wolf. Because of this outdated gaming mentality all these studios have is that only Conquest Dota is competitive. So they literally ignore 50 to 70% of their player base and then they expect good results. That's what I have been telling for years, that Arena is probably the biggest open niche on the MOBA market. If you make a new game, MOBA game, arena style game with ranked leaderboard, rewards, good action combat, a good social system, you can literally be the most popular MOBA game on the market, because how divided the gaming industry is. It's all thanks to these big capitalism companies like Valve and Whatever. All these guys who manage esports, right? They can't even organize tournaments. They can't even organize online tournaments for North America, EU. And if you do things right, you get sponsorship and viewership naturally. People naturally watch to see who's the best. You have competitive spirit. And that's how people make money. But you can't expect a capitalism guy to understand and have experience about things we are passionate about. You just simply can't. If you write Dota 2, is Dota 2 outdated in Google? You get a Google response from Wolf, I guess. We will continuously update Dota 2. And you know what is funny? They couldn't even make more than one map. They couldn't even make more than one map for Dota 2. In a fucking genre that is designed around countless upon thousands of community made maps, right? 20 years. In last 20 years, the gaming communities have been so divided because of all these, because the guys like Wolf. Because then a lot of these new MOBA studios, they copy League of Legends, they copy Dota 2, they think they will get good results, but they don't. Because Dota 2 and League of Legends haven't seen innovation in 20 years. Because they get money from all the other things, right? Steam and so on. Is just... Now imagine League of Legends, right? And if we would only have ranked leaderboard and rewards for domination, or only for Aram, 3 versus 3, and nothing for Conquest Dota. That could be interesting, right? It's just insane because I don't know. I'm just getting sick of these capitalism companies and everything being destroyed by capitalism. It really sucks. And all this misinformation and nobody has any experience. Like the only reason why I'm making this video and talking about it is because I have experience, because I'm passionate about this thing. I have been playing Smite for more than 10 years. I'm 27-year-old and I have been gaming since 10-year-old. I have some of the best memories from PlayStation 1, my first games that my father bought me, you know? But today it's everything so mismanaged and no real sports, no real competitive spirit. These big companies acting like they're innovative when they have been holding back the whole industry for last 20 years, right? This is what Wolf did. They didn't even wanted to make more than one map for Dota 2. And then all these big other gaming studios copied them. We wanna be like Dota 2, we wanna be League of Legends. Look how popular are they. It must be because they only focus on Dota Conquest and ignore everybody else, right? Right? Oh man. It's actually kinda insane if you go on Dota 2 Reddit. You can actually see that there's actually quite a lot of people online. For such an old game. Kinda impressive. I never got into Dota 2, you know. But I played original Dota on Warcraft 3 and I played many MOBA style games, right? In my opinion, if you're a fan of gaming, if you are a fan of MMORPG or MOBA style games, you should definitely watch the King's Avatar animation. It's probably one of the best gaming animation out there, made by Tencent. And it really shows how what you can achieve when you make a complete game, right? If you work in any MMORPG or MOBA gaming studio, just watch this animation. I'm sure you can learn a lot from it. Elden Ring. Basically, all the Japanese gaming studios should watch it because all their games, they have one of the best franchise in the world. Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, Elden Ring. They do nothing with them. No, such incomplete games that I don't know where to even start. It's shame because they really are supposed to make dream game for us, but they're being held back by these old mentalities. Multiplayer is a bad thing. Um, I mean, we can just look at Elden Ring, like it's so many limitations, so much outdated game design, so much missing basic functionalities, basic elements. And then you go these communities and you see people always praising these guys. They praise Miyazaki, they praise Wolf, when they haven't seen innovation in 20 years. And they are probably the reason why it is what it is, beside the capitalism and AI and guys who manipulate media with, beside that.